Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I am looking at the price of silver. I have never looked at the price of silver on the channel before, and this thing goes all the way back to 1802. So this thing is literally God's money. If you're a silver investor, it's kind of a bittersweet type of situation for you because, this whole time you've been holding, um, you haven't been rewarded yet, right? That's because obviously the price hasn't gone in our favor. And you can, think what you want about what the price is doing at any given time. But at the end of the day, we are given the cards we are dealt, and we have to endure what this chart is going through. If you're a silver holder, I say bittersweet because it's bitter in the fact that it hasn't reached its full potential, not even close. And number two, it's sweet because it hasn't reached its full potential, right? So I've been holding silver um, not that long, actually. Probably 20. I started buying it in 2016, 2017, and really heavy in 2018. And then after that, I stopped buying it. I just kind of playing it out and seeing what's going to happen. So yeah. So basically, right off the bat, looking at this chart. By the way, I am very bullish on silver, and I'm going to tell you a lot of reasons why to be bullish. This chart right here is the same fractal as some altcoins that I'm currently looking at. I mean, it's the same chart. And it's all about phases, right? It's all about the phases of the market. And to understand the phases of the market, I'm going to start off on Bitcoin so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Once I paint the picture on Bitcoin, you're going to be like, oh, now I get it. It's going to make all the sense in the world when you understand what I'm about to tell you. So there's not a lot of, you see crypto, YouTube all over, but you don't really see too much precious metals. They don't get a lot of love. So today is a good day. It's Black Friday. And what better way to celebrate than to do a silver analysis video? Okay, let's get into it. Let's go. Tired of ranting on. Let's go. So first off, I'm going to show you the price of Bitcoin. But before I do that, I want you to take a mental screenshot of what you see. And I'm just going to draw it just to help you. So this is going back to 1802, okay? Back in 1802, you had this sideways base, right? There's your base. Price breaks out in a rise. It rises up. Then it crashes. Then it retraces. And now we're in reaccumulation. So once again, I'm going to make this very simple. You have a base. The bigger the base, the higher in space. Always remember that. Sideways consolidation, very good thing for years. I mean, look how long that was. Wow. From 1802 to 1944. That's over 100 years of base. That's like, what? Like if you look, for example, if you look at the price of XRP, it has a base, but it's only 2 years. I think it's 3 years. This thing has a base of over 100 plus years. Amazing. Okay. So you have your base. You break out of the base and a rise. This is your first rise. Then you have a crash. Then you have a retrace. Now you are in reaccumulation. That's 5 phases right there. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. So remember that. And it's going to be important. So, and then also right off the bat, if you notice, what do you see? Just looking at this thing, what do you see? I minimized it down to the three week chart. Right off the bat, if I put my line right here, that is my neckline. That is basically $49.50. That is the all-time high of silver in the market rigor world, right? So off the bat, I see. So, for example, if crypto was in a bear market forever, you would see continuous price movement to the downside. Same thing with precious metals. But when you get this type of action right here, notice how you have a rounded bottom. This is like a cup. This is a cup right here. See, here's the run up or the rise. You smack right into the resistance. And instead of impulsing down like this, like a bubble being popped, right? What happened was you're methodically going down, then you're going sideways, right? And that's the most important part. I'm going to highlight that right here. Sideways. Sideways is good. Sideways is accumulation. Sideways is consolidation. Sideways means a base is being formed for the next move. And sometimes it could be a down move, but in this case it wasn't. So you have a beautiful cup, right? Cup into a sideways base, and then the continuation to the cup. And then what happened? Boom. Again, ran right into the resistance, just like the first time. Now, what is happening again? Same exact thing, but just on a much smaller level and at a higher low level. For example, we ran right into the resistance, we come all the way down, and look what just happened. Here's our sideways base. See, it's starting to come more clear now, huh? So, and what happened here? What happened here? Resistance. This is the sell side of the curve. This is the bottom of the curve, the buying, the accumulation, the smart money accumulation. And this is the sell side of the curve. I'm sorry. This is the sell side of the curve. This is the sideways consolidation. And now we're on the buy side of the curve. The buy side of the curve just ended, right? Back in 2010, 11, 12. I say just ended when it was like over 10, 12 years ago. Okay, so we run into the resistance. We come down. And notice it's doing the same type of fractal as this, just much shorter, right? If we had to endure this, we would have to wait 1980. We would have to wait another 40 years just to have a breakout, right? Well, that's not going to happen because obviously it's a lot shorter. So this thing, I mean, if you haven't noticed already, it is, ladies and gentlemen, none other than a massive cup and handle. That's what's happening. And I'm sure you probably already know that. I already know that. It's a cup and handle. Big deal. You know? Well, I'll tell you why it's a big deal. Because it's a massive cup and handle. It is a multi-decade cup and handle. It is enormous. It is so big. It is almost going to be a century. Not quite, but a century if it continues on, right? Cup and handle. Huge, huge pattern. So you could see the fractal here. So what happened when we broke out of this base? We broke out and we went sideways for a while. And then we had our next leg to the upside. Same thing here. We broke out and we went sideways. And by the way, I'm going to zoom in. And when I zoom in, it's going to be even more bullish. And you're going to see why. So right off the bat, it's a cup and handle. And we're going to do the measurement of this cup and handle. So the measurement of this cup and handle, I'll play that later on. But you're not gonna believe it. If it's amazing. It puts a smile on my face for all those years that I was gutted, knowing, man, this price ain't moving. This price ain't doing anything, right? So, but first, I want to show you the price of Bitcoin. And I want you to see something here. Now, and I want you to just remember, we have a rise. Well, first we have a base, we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have reaccumulation, sideways, sideways. Remember that. Okay, here's the price of Bitcoin from 2018 to 2021. And I want you to remember what I just said. So same thing with Bitcoin here. Check this out. We have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have reaccumulation, blast off. That is exactly what's happening with silver, by the way. We have a rise, we have a crash. That was that rounded bottom we had. So silver was actually even more bullish than Bitcoin. The reason why is because when silver retraced, it retraced all the way to equal highs. Silver, ladies and gentlemen, is more bullish than Bitcoin by far because of that fact. Very important, very important. Remember, retracements are a big deal. A lot of people don't look at them like a big deal because there's no trend, there's no decision. It's a retracement. Who cares? No, a retracement shows how much strength is there in a bear market rally. So, this was our equal high. Bitcoin fell short. Silver was all the way up here. And you may think, that's not much. It is. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Trust me. Let's do a percentage term here. And we'll take it from the close. And we'll take it to the top. That's 51%. Just say 50%. It's 50%. That's a massive move. So think about that for a second. Silver is 50% more bullish than Bitcoin. Okay, so what did Bitcoin do after the 5 phases, which is, I'm going to keep saying it so that it's implanted in your head, so that because it's so important to understand. A rise, a crash, a retrace, a reaccumulation, blast off. Okay, so what happened when Bitcoin blasted off? What did it do? It went, here's the $50 silver. So just pretend this is the price of silver. This is a $50 silver right here. Bitcoin went all the way up and broke its $50 level. So right there. So how can we measure that? How can we measure that and take that same rule principle and put it back on silver? Because after all, silver and Bitcoin, they're homies. They're homies. They're two different worlds, right? They're a brother from another mother. They're outside the banking system, right? They are anti-debt instruments. And you could be a silver bug, you could be a gold bug, or you could be a crypto bug. Or you're like me and you're both. I think it's much more safe to be both than to say one's going to win and one's going to lose. I don't know which one's going to win, which one's going to lose. I think they're both going to win in their own ways. We're just going to have to wait and see. But that's why we use technical analysis. And then some people will say, well, why use technical analysis when the whole market is rigged? And that is very true. That is very true. But even market riggers use the charts to sort of gauge and control where they want it to go. And they do this by liquidity. So I don't want to get into that type of video here. But basically, if you have $20 million, you can't just buy Bitcoin wherever you want. The exchange is not going to fill your order. You need an influx of liquidity. And the way you get that is the price breaking below a range or breaking above a range. Breaking below support, people going short, all the traders go short, they pull in that liquidity, and then the market riggers take it long, and then they just wipe you out. So that's how market rigging really works. There's a lot of different things that go into it, and going back to Bix Weir, I like that guy a lot. I've watched him for years. I got his Road to Ruta coin. He sent me a Veritasium token, and I tried to get Veritasium. Funny story, for a long time I just couldn't get it on these crazy exchanges. They were just shady exchanges. I put the money on and it wouldn't fill the trade, and it was just frustrating. So I've been following him for a while, and he's my silver guy. I mean, he's the one that really woke me up about the silver and the gold, and well, really the silver is the main guy, right? Silver is the main guy, but Bix Weir, if you're listening, big fan, and just wait, because I'm about to show you my price target for silver and where I think it's going and when I think it's going to get there. But yes, you're right. Market rigging is a real thing, and they do it all the time. But just because they rig the markets doesn't mean we can't benefit. And I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about hodling, right? Most people don't want to deal with the stresses of trading, and I agree. 10% of what I do is trade. 90% of what I do is hodl. Okay, so going back to the chart, we have, just to recap, this is the price of Bitcoin, but I'm using it as an example, a fractal pattern of the phases of what silver is going to do. So once again, you have a rise, a crash, a retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. Going back to silver, same thing. This is the price of silver. You have a rise, a crash, a rounded bottom, which is even better, a retrace, reaccumulation. What comes next? Blast off. Exactly. Same thing with Bitcoin. Remember, this was Bitcoin back in 2017 when it went up to 20K. This is Bitcoin when it went down to the 3K area. This is Bitcoin when it retraced to 14K, but actually silver retraced back to its all-time high. Bitcoin fell short by 50%. So silver is 50% stronger, and that just proved it right there. Okay, now what's happening? The most important part, which is what? Reaccumulation. It is the most important part of the chart, is reaccumulation. In my opinion, by the way, all of this is my opinion. This is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. Silver can go to $1 million tomorrow, or it can go to $1. I have no idea. I'm just giving you my speculation on what I see. But what I see is my opinion, and my opinion is incredibly bullish, and I'm about to show you even more reasons right now. So silver is developing a classic pattern. The reason why it's so hard to see, and the reason why it's so frustrating for most people, is because they don't zoom out. This is what they're doing. I'm going to go to let's go to the daily chart, right? And when you look at the daily chart, it's just like, what is that? What am I looking at there? What is that? Right? Okay, I'm going to go to the weekly chart. Remember, this chart is over 100 years old. It's got mega history, so you got to zoom out. This is the weekly chart, starting to look a little more clear, but not totally, right? And by the way, I'm going to take everything off the screen so my chart's not cluttered, and you're going to be shocked when you see this. Get ready for this. Okay, so what this is a zoomed in look. So I'm going to show you real quick. Here's the 3-week chart. I want you to take a mental screenshot of that, right? I want you to take a mental screenshot. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. Okay, just think about that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this area right there, and it's actually the same thing. It's actually the same thing, just on a smaller level. So check this out. We have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, and we have reaccumulation. Look at that. I mean, come on. It's great. And you say, well, that was just one example for Bitcoin. I'm going to show you a chart that proved it was a mega run. And some of you might find this controversial, but it doesn't matter. We're looking at the chart. We're not, who cares about what asset it is? We're looking at the chart, okay? Okay, this is the price of XRP. Love it or hate it, it's telling a story just like silver, and just look at it. Doesn't it look exactly like Bitcoin back in 2017 through 2021? Doesn't it look exactly like silver? It does. Check this out. You have a rise, you have a crash, you have a rounded bottom, right? Same thing with silver, same thing with Bitcoin. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. What is that? A bigger cup and handle. Same exact story. These are the type of assets that I'm in, right? I don't care if it's a banker coin. Banks have all the money, and it is what it is. But check this out. Does it mean it's going to be the one? I don't think it's going to be, in fact, the one, right? But I think it's got a lot of potential based off what we see here. So check this out. Everybody knows XRP only had one move. It only had one showstopper move back in 2018. That's when crypto was really exuberant. That's when Bitcoin went up to $20,000. It was the most, in my opinion, the most euphoric bull market of all time. And that was this right here. That's all XRP ever had, was that. That's it. In its entire history, that's all it had. Nothing. Except, a mega bull run, right? And where did that mega bull run? This is very important. You say, what does this have to do with silver? You're going to see right now. When I show you this, it's going to be like, whoa. It's going to, just trust me. So this video is all about silver, and I'm building the case of why silver is one of the biggest assets that I'm in and that I'm holding. And there's a reason why. And it's going to be proven right now. So check this out. This move right here that XRP had was a monster move. I mean, it was a monster move. Let's take a measuring right here, and we're going to go all the way up to the top. That was almost a 60,000% move. That is unheard of. That is unbelievable. A 60,000% move. Okay, so here's the most important part. How did that 60,000% move form? How did it form? How did it come to be? The answer lies in silver. So check this out. Same thing what's going on with silver. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit let's go to the 2-day chart, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I just showed you 3 examples: Bitcoin, XRP, and silver, of the 5 phases. Okay, so check this out. Ready? Same thing with silver. You have a rise, you have a crash, you have a retrace. Remember, silver retraced all the way up here. XRP and Bitcoin did not. And most assets don't. Most assets retrace 618 Fibonacci, right? 786, 618, golden zone, whatever you want to call it. they retrace in that area. Silver did a 100% retracement. That is incredibly bullish. Okay, so we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. OMG. That right there spurred almost a 60,000% move in XRP. This took, let's see how long this took. About 1,300 days. That's nothing. Silver has been doing this decades and decades and decades. It's a decade. It's a multi-decade pattern. This was only a few years, and it spurred that. Of course, yes, you have to consider market cap, and XRP was a baby, not even $1 billion. Or yes, I get that. And I don't think we're going to get a 60,000% move in silver. I mean, obviously it's possible, right? Anything's possible, but I don't think that's the case. But what I'm trying to do is make the case of why it's so incredibly bullish. And we're going to get into targets later, but basically the first part of this video is to just describe to you what it takes to have a blast off move, right? When you look at a chart, most people can't read a chart. But the way I paint the picture, I'm hoping that people can sort of see it. You don't have to be a chart expert to understand 5 different phases, right? We're not doing all this geometry and Elliott wave and all that. I mean, yeah, we use it, of course. But I'm just showing you the basic structure of a chart and how it forms to be such a monster move. Okay. So let me remove all that. Let me zoom out one more time, and we're going to get back to silver right now. But first, one real quick, I just wanted to show you right here. Okay, so same thing, right? You have a rise. You have a rise. You have a crash. You have a crash. You have a retracement. You have a retracement. You have a reaccumulation. You have reaccumulation. And then you have a sideways base. You have a sideways base. And what comes next? And what comes next? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be all for XRP. Now let's go back to silver, because silver is telling the same story as some of the most bullish crypto assets on the planet, right? And when I say bullish, I mean they're in the top 10. That's why I'm looking at it, because you can't take it seriously, right? If it's not necessarily in the top 10, right? Obviously, there's many home runs that are in the top 100. We all know, right? Even maybe further down that haven't really spread their wings quite yet. But at the end of the day, the market has chosen the top 10, and until it's changed, we have to take it as it's the top 10. And XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are the only assets since the beginning of time that have been in the top 10. No other asset has held the top 10 title for that long, especially an asset that has an SEC lawsuit attached to its name, right? Okay, so this is our $50 silver. This is our retracement of our $50 silver, right? And now we're sort of doing this little cup that's conquering this big cup. So you have this big cup and this little cup, right? Okay. And by the way, real fast, 10 seconds. I know a lot of you guys like Theta token. I love it. I am a big fan. Here's the same thing, that Theta. Theta's a baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. You still got to change its diapers. It's a baby. It has no data. But it's okay, because that means you're early, right? That means you're incredibly early. Theta, what does it do? You have a rise, you have a crash. What comes next? Retracement, reaccumulation, blast off. That's how I see theta. It might take a long time, but you know what? What other things you got to do? Your money's going to sit in the bank, do nothing? Or is your money going to, work? Right? So I could be totally wrong. This could be breaking out just like that. Or it could just be retracing before another reaccumulation. I don't know. Some assets do this. Some assets take their time. The assets that take their time perform a lot better. Remember, XRP did not break a new all-time high like Bitcoin and most other coins. It took the long route. So when most coins broke out like this, XRP just retraced. And the same goes with silver. When gold broke out, here's why I'm more bullish. Listen very closely. Very closely. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, I am way more bullish on silver than I am on gold, because silver is taking its time, just like a bunch of assets that I can name that took their time, right? So instead of, for example, instead of blasting off, they retraced and then they reaccumulated, which basically means what? You're developing a bigger base, right? So this is half the base. This is 100% of the base. The bigger the base, the higher in space. Look at this right here. Here's a base right here. There's your base. There's your flagpole. Think of this base right here as your concrete foundation. Your flagpole is planted in the concrete foundation, and now it's bull flagging out. We're going to get a breakout. The question is, when I 100%, well, you can't say 100%. 99.9999%, not financial advice, think that theta is in this massive bull flag. Here's your flagpole, here's your flag, and here's your breakout. The question is the breakout going to break out, new all-time high, or is it going to do what silver did and sort of round up, maybe retrace 618, maybe even 100%, and then come down for reaccumulation, right? That is the difference. If we come down for reaccumulation, that's actually a good thing. You can't say, oh, it's market riggers. We broke out a new all-time high. That would be great. But if theta took its time, the move would be much, much bigger. Because why? Because it had more time. It had more time to develop. It built more volume, right? Think about the volume profile. Think about how much support is being built. It's all about support, right? That's one thing you learn when technical analysis. Support, resistance. The more you build a base, right? Think of this like your launch pad. Okay, and here's your rocket, right? Here's your rocket. That's a horrible rocket. Let me take that off. But you get the idea, right? It's your rocket. Okay. Does a rocket need a small launch pad, or does it need a big launch pad? It needs a big one. So I like to take my time and go. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. If it's going to take its time, it's going to take its time. But that's not the point. The point is we're talking about silver. So I just wanted to bring theta up as an example. Incredibly bullish on theta. The question is retracement, or we're just going to go. Those are the two keys. With silver, we already know the answer. Because it already had a retracement. All we're waiting for now is the sideways consolidation, which we're in, and then the blast off. And I'm going to show you right now. This is the price of gold. I don't hold gold, a lot of gold. The reason is simple. Why would I hold gold when I can hold silver? Look at the price of gold, right? Okay, you had the mental screenshot of the price of silver, the price of Bitcoin, right? You all saw what they did. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, gold already did it. It already did it. Watch. Silver is down here. Gold is up here. Silver is down here. Gold is up here. Why would I buy gold? Why would I buy gold? Silver's down here. Silver hasn't completed its phase yet. Gold already has. Why would I buy gold? Why would I even hold it? Obviously, gold's going to go higher, obviously. But I don't care about that. What I care about is percentage terms. Percentages mean everything, right? Then you say, well, why isn't China and Russia, they're buying record amounts of gold? Why don't they buy record amounts of silver? Because it's so, you know how much silver they would have to buy? Just the equivalent 1 ounce of gold, right? It would be enormous. So, and they, by the way, they are accumulating tons of silver. It's not publicly shown as much as the gold, right? They want you to look at the gold. Look at the gold. Don't look at the silver. Look at the gold. Look at China. They're buying gold. Look at that. That means you should go buy gold. Don't buy silver because China's not buying silver. Yes, they are. They're buying a lot of silver. Okay, so check it out. Gold had a what? We're going to do it again, baby. Here we go. We have a rise. We have a crash. It's very hard to see because I'm on the 10-week chart, but bear with me. And then we had a retracement. And then we had reaccumulation. And then we had blast off. So there you go. And now look what's happening again. We have a rise. We have a crash. We have a new all-time high. So we have to treat it a little differently, right? This can still come back down for reaccumulation and go, right? But look how small it is, right? So if let me take everything off the screen. Look how, I'm going to actually go to the 6-week chart. Just look how small it is compared to silver. So this is also a cup and handle, right? Very bullish. But the issue is it's smaller than silver. Silver went back to, here's the price of silver. It's the same size, right? But look, it's the same thing, right? But when you zoom out, now look how big it is. This thing goes all the way back to 1980. So would I rather be in a 1980 multi-decade cup and handle, or would I rather be in this little cup and handle? So basically all gold has is this. That's all it's got, because it broke out already. It broke this. Gold broke this right here. Silver didn't. Silver took the long way home. And that is more bullish, people. You could say, well, that's manipulation. Well, it's actually good manipulation. The market makers are doing us a favor. They're doing us a favor by doing that, because let me put gold up side by side. I'm going to see if I could do that. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So here's the price of silver right here. And now watch this. I'm going to put the price of gold up. Boom. So let's look at the differences in gold. So first of all, why would I buy gold? Look where gold is at compared to silver. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, please. I know gold is shiny and it looks maybe more beautiful, and it's got that gold. It's gold. I mean, come on, it's gold, right? Yeah. People go for the shinier objects, but let me tell you something. When you hold silver up in the sunlight, it's way more shiny than gold. And right now, that's what I'm doing. I am projecting sunlight on this chart so that people can understand why would you even consider holding gold. Obviously, I hold gold. Everybody holds gold. But not at the velocity that I'm holding silver. So check it out. The darker chart is gold. The lighter chart, so this is silver right here. This is the most important part right here, going back to 1980. This is our pivot. This is our pivotal point. This is basically Bitcoin 2017, 20,000. So think of it like that. Okay? So this is Bitcoin 17, $20,000. So gold was what? I don't have it on here because it's on a silver chart, but silver got up to that $50 mark. Okay, so I'm going to draw that right here. So there's our pivot. Both charts came up to their all-time high. Okay, so then what happened was both charts had a cup, a monster cup. Silver stopped. Here's where here's where the differences are. So check this out. Very, very important. I'm going to draw a line right here. This is very important. Very important. Probably the most important thing. Okay. So here's silver, here's gold. They both had a top. They both came down in this cup. They both rounded on up. But look what happened. Silver stopped at its all-time high. Retraced 100%. But gold continued to go higher. Now you can say, well, duh, that means it's more bullish. Yeah, at the time it was more bullish. But guess what? At this moment, it's not, because gold already made its move. Gold already made its move. Okay? Silver hasn't. Gold leads the way, silver follows, right? Obviously. But when silver moves, and when I mean move, I mean really moves, it moves much more in percentage terms than gold does. Okay? So, see how gold broke out? This was the breakout right here for gold. Silver still has to do that. Still has to do that. But when it does it, this is how I'm looking at it. Here's silver and gold, and then here's just silver. I'm looking at this thing to catch up, at least catch up. Okay, so if silver catches up to gold, what percentage term would that be? Right? That's like $1,000. It's hard to do it because I'm on a different scale, right? But you get the idea. I'm not going to give numbers, right? But look where silver is. It's way down here, right? And then look where gold is at. It's way up there. That's like a 7,000% difference, right? But I don't think. I mean, it could be, right? Silver could go to that $1,000. I mean, let's try to be conservative as possible, right? We're going to be conservative as possible when we do this. But I'm just basically trying to show you, emphasize the difference between gold and silver. Gold already made its move. Here was its move. It broke out. And now it looks like it's wanting to go even higher. But how much higher can it go? Silver is still way down here. Silver hasn't. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, watch this. I'm going to take silver away. And I'm going to remove all of that. And I'm going to put a line back here. Now watch this. Okay. Silver is way down here. Gold is way up there. So why would I buy gold? That's what I'm trying to say, people. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Gold already, it's like, why would I buy Bitcoin at 50K when I can buy another coin that hasn't completed its cycle yet? Right? For example, Theta. Theta, it only had one wave. Bitcoin has had how many bull runs? The percentages have been bled out, right? It's like taking a rag and wringing every last drop out, right? There's not that many drops left. That's why I'm looking for a wet, juicy rag that I can wring the hell out of it. And it can be drenched when I'm done with it. Most things like gold and Bitcoin, they've been squeezed every last drop. Of course, they got more room to the upside, but when you look at it in percentage terms, it's nothing compared to silver. Because silver is down here, gold is way the hell up here. And what are we expecting for silver? This monster move right here. So from here all the way up to there. That is what I'm expecting for silver. But here's the thing, gold already did that. Gold already completed that move. So now what's next for gold? Well, if I take that, so here's what's next for gold. Okay. We have a cup and a handle. And you take so here's your cup right here, and there's your handle. So then I'm going to take this line and I'm going to do a measured move. So I'm going to take the measured move and I'm going to put it right there. So my price target for gold is about $3,900. Big deal. Big deal. Yes, of course it can go way higher than that. But if I take a percentage, that's about 94%. Yeah, it's nice, but who cares? Okay, so now if I pull the Fibonacci, we'll do another price target. Let's pull the Fibonacci here. And I'll pull this down here. And if we're lucky, we can get a full 4.236 Fibonacci extension, which comes in at about $4,600 and some change. So 4,655 to be exact. Okay, and what is that percentage move? It is exactly about 131%. So gold has been forming a pattern since 2010, 2011. And it's been forming this pattern for 10 years plus. And all it's got to show for is a 130% move. That is pathetic. I'm sorry, gold guys. I'm sorry. But I don't get it. I don't understand it. Let's say gold, I see a lot of 10,000 people. 10,000. Gold's going to hit 10,000. Okay. So if gold goes to 10,000, that's 400%. That's still nothing. I don't think gold's going to go to 10. I mean, it could, obviously, but come on. It's not going to go. It's 400%. Who cares? Okay, so now let's go to silver. Remember, silver is way down here on the Richter scale. This is the Richter scale. It's way down here. Okay? So if I take that measurement from here and I go all the way up, that's about 350%. Just from where it's at now, right? And then I go even higher, that's 1,000%. What would you rather have, 1,000 or 400%? Okay, so now I'm going to show you silver. Now this is the grand finale. We made it. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. I know my videos are longer than most people, but that's because I'm providing a lot of details that people are missing. I feel like YouTube is a wonderful place for people to basically broadcast their ideas, their perspectives, their opinions. And I look at all this stuff, and it's taught me a lot, but I'm giving it to you from my perspective. And my perspective is basically taking a bunch of people's perspectives and formulating it into my own opinion. And that's what most people, I think, do. So without further ado, I'm going to go to the grand finale, which is silver price targets and what's to come with silver. So get ready. So here's the price of silver. And just real quick to reiterate, remember what gold did. Gold went all the way up here, and then it did this. So that's gold. So gold is sitting up here, silver's sitting down here. Look at how much divergence that is. Okay? All right, let me take that off. I'm going to take that off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Fibonacci trend extension. Okay? So watch this. But before I do that, real quick, just to reiterate, one more time. Rise, crash, rounded bottom, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, sideways, sideways. The longer it goes sideways in here, the better. People say, oh, it's not doing anything. It's just going sideways. That's good. That's good. We want that. Because it's basically it's coiling up like a coiled spring. And it's about to let loose. So the question is, where is it going to go? And I'm going to tell you that right now. So first of all, with Fibonacci, you have linear scale targets and you have log scale targets. And then you have measurements from patterns. I'm going to give you all three. I'm going to give you the measurement of the pattern. I'm going to give you a linear based Fibonacci scale. And then I'm going to give you a log based Fibonacci scale. But then I'm also going to go to a step further and give you a trend based Fibonacci scale, both log and linear. And not only that, I'm going to give you a time-based Fibonacci, and this is going to tell us when we should expect this move, okay? So get ready. So I'm going to take my Fibonacci, I'm going to put it right to the top, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it all the way down. And right now, these are fib levels based on log scale. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so this is what we got here. This is linear scale. So this is the more conservative approach, okay? All right, so let me make sure everything is perfect. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get above these retracement levels right here between the 886 and the 702. So if we can get above this box right here, and that box is, one second here, between $43 and say $60. So just say between $40 and $60. Make it easy. We need to get above $40 to $60. In order, so check this out. If we can get above 40 to, I would say 50, between $40 to $50, then you're looking at price discovery. So what is price discovery? Price discovery is the most bullish thing on planet Earth, because that is when price breaks above all-time high. There's no overhead resistance. There's nothing to look left, right? When you look left on a chart, you're seeing if there's any resistance or support. There's nothing left, right? So basically, you're in outer space. And when you're in outer space, there's no wind resistance, right? You can go as fast as you need to go. And that's called price discovery. So once we enter price discovery, we typically go to the 1618, which what? It leads us right here. $85 silver. That is my bare minimum target. Like the bottom of the barrel target right there. $85. And $85 from where we are now, ladies and gentlemen, is a 250% move. So right off the bat, we're already gaining on gold, right? We're already gaining on gold. Remember, gold was about 94%. 94% up to 400%. The maximum I see gold going is 400%. Silver is already at 253%. Okay, so now we're gonna mark these all out too. So I'm gonna put all these lines here. So that's right at $85. Then, if we're lucky, we can hit a full 4.236 Fibonacci extension, which gives us a $204 silver. Boom. So let me take that off. Take that off. Right there. Right there. $203 silver. And you might think, that's not all. I mean, guys, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm not done yet. I'm not even close to being done yet. So if we take a measurement, we go all the way up. That's a 720% move on silver. 720% move on silver. Wow, that is a monster. That is a monster. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to take a regular Fibonacci scale, okay? And we're going to take it from the top of this to the bottom of this. And look at that. It gives us the exact same number, about $173 to $200, okay? So we don't really need to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take it from the 1980 top, and this is what you should be doing, by the way, because it hasn't broken a new all-time high. This is where you should take your fib. So you take it right at the all-time high. Let me try to get it just right. Okay, and I'm going to pull it all the way down here. And right off the bat, it's about that same price, that $200 area. So I would say between, so that's two things. That's actually three things of confluence. Three things of confluence. $190 to $200. Okay, so we have 3 points of confluence, so that deserves a box. And we're going to change that to, we'll change it to blue. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to change it to linear scale. I'm sorry, log scale. Okay, now it looks drastically different. Okay. So right now we are hanging out just above the 702, which is a good thing. And look at the 786. We came right here to the 786. We got rejected. So these Fibonacci scales are definitely have a lot of confluence in these price movements. So we see 786 at $27. We see the support at the 618 at $17, and we all know $17 silver. We've been through it for a long time, right? So just a little fun fact, I've been accumulating silver 2016, I remember this run up 2017 and 2018. And really when we started breaking out here, we had that COVID dump. The premiums, I remember the premiums skyrocketed. So just because the coin, you know, silver was what, like less than $14, the premiums equaled to that of being at $18, $20 silver anyway. So it didn't even matter, right? So, okay, I digress. But basically, what we look for on a log scale is the 1618. And that gives us, check this out. I mean, jeez. Right there. So our first target, $86. Our second target, $200. I would say between $190 and $200. So we'll just be conservative. We'll say $190. So first target, $86. Second target, $190. Third target, $243. To $303. Boom, right there. So my target for silver, first target, bare minimum, $86. Highest target, $300. $300 silver. Now you might think, well, where's my $600 silver? Where's my $1,000 silver? That, my friends, is going to take something a lot bigger. And that is right here, the 2. there's your $600 silver right there. It's basically sitting at the two. $661 to be exact. So that would be my next target. And that is where the $600 silver, $600 plus silver comes into play, is right there. So I don't know about you guys, but I just got really excited. I've given you all the reasons why, and the biggest reason is this right here. Let me take that off. So on all the way on the right hand side, you can see the targets: $86, $191, $244, $300, $671. Those are all targets that I think are definitely possible. To get to those really high targets, it's going to take a catalyst. And this is where I go back to Bix Weir and his theory of, which is really turning into be a fact, right? Which is all this market rigging. There's not enough metal out there, right? The price of silver is not a reflection of reality. It is the paper contracts, right? So they trade on the COMEX and all that stuff. It's all rigged, right? And basically they're trading pieces of paper. They're not trading the physical asset. That's why you see these premiums high. So that is where you get even more. So, okay, so check this out. So here's the grand finale. Ready? If silver, from a technical, non-manipulative perspective, can hit between $600, between $90 to $600, without any manipulation, without pretending that the COMEX is doing everything right, they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing, there's no manipulation, there's no shortage of silver, everything is on track and hunky-dory. That is $86 to $600. Okay. But we all know 100% that there is not enough silver to go around, right? It's being used in all types of stuff, industrial, right? Solar, all kinds of stuff. And when they trade it on the COMEX, I'm not the expert in this, right? If you want to know silver inside and out, I highly recommend following The Road to Ruta. It's a YouTube channel. There is so much valuable information. You can even go to roadtoruta.com and you can see just story after story after story of all this confluence of the biggest conspiracy, one of the biggest conspiracies in the world, which is the silver rigor, and how everything on planet Earth is basically like a linchpin, right? And if silver is that catalyst, we can see some major explosive fireworks, right? So we all know central banks control the planet. We know they control planet Earth, right? That is why they are so afraid of gold and silver, is because gold and silver is a reflection of their dying system. We don't live in a people system. We live in a central banking fiat currency system that prints money out of thin air, loans it to the people with we the people with interest attached, right? Then we have to pay it back plus interest. What sort of rigged deal is that? It's a scam, right? The people rose up, defeated the first central bank. Then the people rose up again to defeat the second central bank. Remember Andrew Jackson, the banking war of 1812? Now we're on our third central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, right? And they're all in collusion with each other to create this massive deception of a false reality. It's all markets are rigged, and I completely agree with that, right? So, when you say looking at a chart doesn't do anything, it does do something. It tells us a lot of information, right? Even if it is manipulated, it tells us a lot of information. The fact that it is manipulated gives us even more bullish interpretation, right? So I just gave you a big range of targets, and I still have one more target to give you, and that is the cup and handle pattern. It's not going to be quite as high, but it's going to give us some confluence here. So if I take a trend line here and I match it there, right? And here is our cup, and here is our handle. And let's measure the cup. So if we take the cup at its lowest point down here, match it up to there, then we'll take this and we'll bring it right there. And look where that gets us. Oh my God. It gets us right to the top of the two. People, it gets us right here. And where is that? Let me make sure it's right on the dot here. Put it right about there. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, it's $617, $600. It's $600 plus dollars. And that is where our $600 target comes in. $600 silver. And there is proof. Guys, I don't think you understand how bullish. This is going back from 1980. I just showed you Bitcoin. I showed you XRP. Look how small their phases were. It only took a few years and they went explosive growth. This thing is going back all the way from 1980. Remember, gold broke out in 2011, 2012. Silver did not. Silver, all it did was do a retracement. That's a big deal. Silver took the long way home. Silver from 1980 till today, right? That's going on about what, 43 years? 44 years? We are in a 43-year cup and handle. We are in a 43-year range. That is a monster. That is a monster. This is bullish, beyond bullish. Look at this. This is one giant range right in here. Okay? I don't know what else to say except get ready. Because when this thing goes, it's going to blow your mind. And when I mean blow your mind, I mean it's going to... Because most people don't look at silver. Most people, oh, gold, 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 gold. Screw gold. Okay, I'm sorry. But it's... Gold already is extended. It doesn't have the support. It doesn't have the base. It doesn't have the structure. It doesn't have the... First of all, the supply and the demand, right? There's more demand for silver. There's less supply of gold. But at the same time, there's a lot of gold out there. We just don't really know about it, right? So, you know, if I'm a central bank, let's say I'm JP Morgan, I can't have the price of silver go up because, or if I'm the Fed, I can't have the price of silver go up because it's a reflection of a dying system. But the problem is you don't need the price of silver. Look at the price of groceries. Look at the price of inflation. It's going up, right? So when you look at inflation going up, you say, well, why isn't silver going up? Because, like we've said, the manipulation, but also it's developing this pattern, and this pattern has to be completed, right? So now, which brings me into the next part. I'm going to take everything off the screen. So there you go, $600 silver, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is a monster. That is a monster. Now, what is the percentage terms on that? That is a 2,000+% move. That's 2,400%. So what would you rather have? 90% to 400%? Or would you rather have 600% to 2,400%? I don't know about you, but I'd rather have that 2,400%, right? That's why I stack silver and not gold. So not bashing gold, right? Gold, it's very important. But at the end of the day, little guys like me need a little bit more than gold. And what we look for is percentages. I don't care if it's gold. I don't care if it's platinum or palladium or any of those other things. What I care about is percentages, and that's what matters. And now, since that's all taken care of, let's figure out when this is going to happen. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to zoom out all the way, and I'm going to take this right here. It's called a trend-based fib time. So I'm looking at this chart, and I'm going to look for the lowest point on this chart. The lowest point on this chart to me is right here. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to go all the way to the top of its move, right there. Now I'm going to so see, we're starting to see these lines on the chart. These are Fibonacci timelines. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that. So I have 3 points. I have point number 1, point number 2, and now I'm going to drag it down for point number 3. So that's about right there. Boom. So there you go. And now where is the pivot? Where is the pivot? It's usually always between the 618 and the 786. And where are we right now? We are literally between the 618 and the 786. So this thing can fly at any moment. And I'm going to even get even closer. And you're not going to believe this. I know this video is going on over an hour, but this is gold. Wait a minute. No, wait. This is silver, right? Still, because silver is better than gold. So this is gold, but it's silver, right? So check this out. So the 618, right? I'm going to take a horizontal line here. I'm going to put it right here. So the 618 becomes February of 2019, and look what that was. That was right before that first leg to the upside. And this one right here is October of 2026. So we still got a little ways to go on that one. But usually it's before that. So that would come in at another 1,100 days. Do I think it's going to take 1,100 days? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to take 1,100 days. Now, to reach a full $600 silver, that's different. What I'm looking for is when can we possibly break out? When can this move possibly end? And to me, the move, right? So the Fibonacci timescales, it basically tells us when the potential move can end. So by October of 2026, we could be looking down the barrel of a $600 silver. So let's say we're January 2024, right? We're 2023. So 2024, 2025, 2026. So 3 years. So in less than 3 years, we can be looking at the price of a $600 silver. So that is my timeline right there. It just gave it to you. So no later than 3 years. So I would say between now and maybe 1 to 2 years. 3 years at the very, very most. Okay. So we got that established. Now, I'm going to zoom in even further here. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. And now check this out. Check this out. Now we're zooming in. Now we're getting to the more interesting part of the video. I know all these parts are interesting. I know it's taking a while, but you got to stick with me because I promise you, you won't regret it. Especially if you're a silver holder. If you hold silver, you got to watch this, okay? Look how bullish this thing looks, first of all. So what we're doing now, so here's the zoomed out chart. So now I'm going to zoom in, right? I'm going to zoom in to where we are right now, which is this move right here. So we're going to examine this move, and we're going to figure out what is happening right now, okay? So I'm going to zoom in here. So this is the 2-week chart of silver, okay? This was the high in 2011. This was C19 low This was our retracement, and this is our reaccumulation. Look how bullish that looks, by the way. And I'm going to show you exactly why that's bullish. So first of all, when I look at a chart, I want to see where we are in the Fibonacci scale. So I'm going to take a fib. I'm going to pull it from here all the way down to here. So we are basically at the 50% line. We are in the golden pocket. That is very, very good. This is where sentiment starts to return. This is where bullish things start to happen at the 50%. We are right smack there in the 50% golden pocket, okay? So the 618, 50% right in there. So now I'm going to take this off. But first, before I do, I'm going to take a line. And once we break between 32 and 36, it's on. That's all it takes. It doesn't take $50. It doesn't take $40. All it takes is between 32 and 36. If we can get a monthly candle close above 32, 36, it's on. We are ready for all-time highs, and I mean beyond. I mean really beyond all-time high. Remember that $80, $90 target? That will be coming incredibly fast once we break 32, 36, and we close below it. And you could say, well, if we break above it, the market riggers can slam it down. It's going to be very hard for them to slam it down. The way they slam it down now is obviously the paper contracts, but something's got to give, right? The COMEX, something will break. And how much you want to bet? The price chart lines up with the breakout that lines up with something breaking in the COMEX or something like that. Something's going to break, right? The reality, the matrix is going to glitch and it's going to snap. And it's going to snap at the exact time we break above $32, $36. Because once we break that zone, there's nothing overhead. We can literally, once we break this, we're gone. We're gone. It's over, right? So now I'm going to take everything off the screen again, and I'm going to show you something else. And I want you to pay attention to this line right here. This is the most important line in precious metals history by far. Check this out. Check out that line. Look at where we are. That is, my friends, a downward resistance line. That right there is an incredible point that even if you don't know charts, if you could take away one thing from this video, it's that line right there. Once we break that line, it is going to be big. It's going to be big. And you could say, well, why? You know, because this is the downward resistance line, right? We ran up into here. We run up, boom, we hit resistance. We cup. We have a beautiful a sideways base in here, right? And then we round up and then boom, we hit that line again. So we're starting to cup and handle. Here's our neckline. We're starting to cup and handle into this downward resistance line. Once we break this line, I want to see it break out, come back test, and continue higher. So that's one thing we got to talk about too. So check this out. Now we did that. Now we're going to zoom in even further. And this is the part where you're like, whoa, now it's starting to come together. Check this out. I'm going to go to the weekly chart right here. And I'm going to take this right here. Okay, now what do you see? You just see a sloppy mess, but I see something beautiful. Very beautiful. I see something gorgeous. Something incredibly gorgeous. Now you see that? This is bullish. This is incredibly bullish. Now watch this. We have a massive impulse to the upside. We run into resistance. We cup into the resistance. We cup into the resistance. We cup into the resistance. We're cupping into the resistance. That is bullish. That is That is incredibly bullish. Now, if we were doing this, that's bearish. But we're doing this, that's bullish, right? So, and I'm going to show you why. This right here is an inverse cup and handles pattern. So we have actually two shoulders, right? So we'll just say that's one shoulder. This is our head, right? And here is our right shoulder. Ladies and gentlemen, when this pattern breaks, it is on like Donkey Kong. Like, seriously. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It is a beast. So we have our first wave to the upside. Bullish wave. This is wave 1. This inverse head and shoulders is wave 2. And now we're about to enter wave 3. Wave 3, by the way, is the biggest wave. So where can wave 3 end? Let's see if we can get a target for wave 3. So if I take this here, and I'm going to take a trend-based Fibonacci. So I'm going to take it from the C19 low all the way up to the top here, which was, we stopped out at $30. We're going to come all the way down here. And now I'm looking for the 1-to-1 extension. That will be target number 1. And that's for this move here. So that target number 1 comes in at $36. Boom, $36 right there. Okay, target number 2. Where does target number 2 come in at? The full target will be $47. So that takes us right up to the all-time high. Boom. All-time high is literally around the corner. So zooming all the way out now. Let's zoom all the way out. There you go. So this move right here, let me take that off here, takes us right up to the all-time high. And what does that do, ladies and gentlemen? That completes the cup and handle pattern, right? So you have a rise, a crash, retrace, right? Which is really your cup, right? Here's your cup, and here's your handle. And here was that move we were looking. We were looking zoomed in, right? So when you zoom in here, we have this impulse, right? And we have this bull flag. So for the last, how long has this bull flag been going on? Let's see. It's been driving everybody nuts, I know. But it's been going on like 1,000 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been going on for 1,000 days. So of course, yes, it's frustrating, but you got to zoom out. When you zoom out, you can see what this is. And what this is not only an inverse head and shoulders, which is incredibly bullish. Not only that it's a cup and handle pattern, which is incredibly bullish, but it's also a bull flag, which is very incredibly bullish. So here's your flagpole right there. And here's your channel right there. There you go. Look at that. I mean, look at that. And look at the candle right now. It's engulfing. So if we take a measured move from this flagpole here to here, right? And then we take it up there. We could take it here. That'd be $35 if we take it to the top. And what does that do? That brings us exactly right to the top. So we have two targets. We have two patterns with the same target. You know what I call that? Confluence. You know what I call that? Confidence. You know what I call that? Conviction. I have full conviction we will hit $50 silver within the next 2 years. Just kidding. Probably very soon. Probably a lot sooner than that, right? Anything can happen at any moment. But this is very bullish. So zooming all the way out back to 1980. It all starts with 1980. 1980 is the most important part, right? Because that is our structure. That is the top of this pattern, our cup, and that is our handle. And in this handle, right, I've identified an inverse head and shoulders. We've identified a bull flag. And we've also identified the remainder of this cup. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, let's go back. Let's go to the 5-day chart. Let's take everything off the screen. All we got to do is break above the neckline. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I believe we're going to break above this neckline very, 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 very soon. It might not feel that way because we've been burned before, but I'm seeing something very important, right? When we came all the way up here, remember this? We skyrocketed, right, from C19, and we kind of corrected a little bit. Everybody thought, okay, now we're going to go. But what it did was it took the long way home. When you take the long way home, you get more of a scenic route, and you get more time to create support and volume and profile and all that. So basically, cup, shoulder, head, shoulder, right? So this is a bullish sign. So I've already did it before. If I take that here and I take this up here, it's going to give us $36. And that is going to take us past this resistance here, which is this block in here. So this block is very important to get through right here. This block right there. Boom. We got to get above that block. Once we get above that block of that cluster of resistance, then like I said, it's on. It is on. And that is the 618, 786 area in there. So there you go, guys. I don't want to get this video too long, but I've just highlighted, I don't know how many reasons to be bullish on silver, but a lot. So I wouldn't buy silver on a paper contract on the COMEX. If you don't hold the real thing, you don't hold the real thing, right? I usually go to, certain websites. You can go, I don't want to, this is not a endorsement. I'm not being paid by anyone, but I usually go to JM Bullion. I go to sdbullion.com. There's other ones out there too. I know Bixweir, he has his connections in the silver world, but maybe just even go to your local silver, gold and silver shop. There's one in most towns. You can go there and check it out and get to know your silver dealer, because you're going to want to have a good relationship with him when this thing really explodes, right? And just zooming out one more time, basically what I'm expecting here is a monster breakout right here. So this is going back to 1802. First of all, we started our base down in here. This is our concrete foundation right here. Just like what I showed you with XRP, right? We have a concrete foundation, and here's your flagpole, right? There's your flagpole. The flag is not a bull flag, but your flagpole. It's planted in the concrete foundation. Decades and decades, right? And now we have our new range, right? We have a new range up in here. So there's our range right here. And here in this range, we have a cup, we have a handle. And in the handle, we have right in here, we have a bull flag, we have inverse head and shoulders, we have another cup and handle. So it's all about this area right in here. Once we work that area out, it is gonna fly. I have very strong conviction. Okay, so let's talk about when that happens. When we break out, this is what I think is going to happen. We're going to break out, and it's going to go high, maybe up to $80 or so, $86. Then I want to see it come all the way back down to $50. When it does that, don't say, oh, it's market manipulation. No, it needs to back test. If it doesn't back test $50 when we break out, right? So let me zoom in here. We have to back test. If not, it's not going to be good, because it could collapse on itself, right? So for example, if we start moving up, we break out. So here's your your 1980 top, here's your 2011 top. Remember, gold broke out. Silver took the long way home. That's bullish. That's bullish, right? So there's your resistance, resistance. We break out, right? What do we need to do? A, B, C. We come down, we back test the breakout zone, right? We back test the breakout zone, and then we really accelerate to the upside. So don't worry about the way I drew it. It could happen way faster than that, right? So taking everything off the screen. Boom. That's how I'm looking at it. That is exactly how I am looking at silver. And remember the price, the time zone. I'm thinking it's between, within 3 years, I think we can hit that $600 silver. The most bullish, obviously, the very most bullish outcome. But other than that, I think that's it. I think I've touched on everything else. You know, we have our base here, we have our rise, we have our crash, we have our retrace, and now we're in reaccumulation. Okay? And here, just for real quick, this is the price of XRP. Look what XRP did right in here, right? Just using this as an example. We have our rise, we have our crash, we have our retrace, we have our reaccumulation. And then we had a blast off. So same thing that's happening now. That's why I hold XRP, is because of this chart pattern. Not because I think it's going to be the one to take over the world, but I think it's got to, remember, we never broke. I look at XRP like I look at silver, because silver and XRP are more alike than people think because of the chart. Remember, silver did not break its all-time high, right? So think of gold like Bitcoin. Gold and Bitcoin are the same. They broke their new all-time high. Silver and XRP are alike because they did not break their all-time high. So this was back in, this is silver. This is back in 1980, right? This is actually the price of XRP, but I'm comparing it to the price of silver. This was 1980. We had our cup. We went into the resistance. And now what's happening? Now we pull back into reaccumulation. So we had our rise, our crash, our retrace, our reaccumulation, sideways, 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 blast off. Just like what silver is doing at this very moment. Obviously, you could tell it's a little different, right? Silver actually looks even more bullish, but you can see we have our initial move up, and now we're starting to cup on out, right? Just like silver. So that's why I hold XRP, because it's basically very, very similar to that of silver. Remember, I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I think XRP, Ripple are some of the good guys. I think that, you know, the market riggers are doing their best to slam the price of XRP down. I mean, remember, most coins, right, they broke out. So this was the bull run. But look at XRP's bull run. It was nothing because the SEC came in and sued them, right? The government doesn't like it, right? So they came in and they sued them, they slammed it down. So while Bitcoin got to run, right, while gold got to run, silver got slammed down right at the all-time high, and XRP got slammed down right at the all-time high. So gold and Bitcoin are the same. Don't really hold a lot of it. And silver and XRP are the same. I hold a lot of it. So there you go, guys. I leave you with that. Thank you guys so much for listening. I know it's been quite a long video. I don't want to break it up into 2 parts. Just, if you can, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you guys hold gold? Do you guys hold silver? What type of cryptos do you hold? Let me know what you think of the price targets. And if you have any other assets you want me to look at, we can go from there. But I have to tell you, just me going through the motions and everything, it just makes me even more bullish on the price of silver and various cryptos. I love Theta. I love XRP. I love silver. You know, those are the assets that I think are going to do well. Obviously, gold and Bitcoin, they've already done so much, right? Ethereum, it doesn't work. It's too expensive. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there. I really like Casper for a layer one. I like, you know, I'm not going to name them all, but there's a good amount out there that are utility driven. That's the whole point, right? We're in a speculative market driven by speculation. I want regulation so that we can have price discovery based off utility, not speculation. So we'll see if that comes. I think it will come in the not too distant future. I think this lawsuit against Ripple was actually a good thing for all crypto, not a bad thing, because it sort of vetted them. Like I look at the company Ripple like I look at Trump. Like he is the most vetted president on planet Earth, right? And so there's no, you know, it is what it is, right? So we all have to take it day by day. We all are investors. We all want our assets to do well. And to me, it all starts with the chart, and it all starts with the fundamental value and what the utility nature is of this asset. I can get into Elliott waves on silver and things like that, but I chose to make it very simple and basic for people out there, you know, who've been holding silver for a long time. Maybe you've been holding silver for decades, and you're feeling discouraged, and you're feeling like it's never going to come. Trust me, people, we are very close. And I know you probably heard that many times before, but you're hearing it from a new voice. I'm sure you've never heard my voice before. I'm sure you've never heard, maybe you've heard it, maybe not, but my perspective, I think it's a lot different than other people. And the fact that, and the way I presented my case, my bullish case for silver, if you agree with it, please share the video to your silver bugs. Let them know that there is a new voice in town for the price of silver. And I want you to know that I am a big cheerleader for the price of silver. And I back it up with facts, not just assumptions, but plain facts of what is in this chart. So there you go, people. Here's the price of silver. Again, just waiting for us to break this line. Once we break this line, we have an impulse to the upside. We got to break this line. And we're ready. And we're close. So thank you guys again. I will catch you on the next video. Take care.